Okay, so was the H&M advert racist? I think no, and here's why. In my opinion, the intent behind any action is how you judge it. The outcome might be negative, might be positive. But in this case, what is the negative outcome? From that child being in that jumper, what was the negative outcome? Except for people getting upset that that word was once used to offend, insult black people. You have to think, how many people are in a production team to make an advert? Editors, lighting, sound, the actors themselves. Everyone was in that. So, all those people were involved. Sure, there's negative connotations if you call a black person a monkey. But this is exactly where stuff like racism and political correctness gets out of hand. I really like calisthenics. I love calisthenics. Swinging from the bars all day. If someone is swinging from the bars, swinging from the bars, doing all kinds of acrobatics, you could be like, wow, that guy's swinging like a fucking monkey. He keeps going. Now, because he's black, that's offensive. But if he's white, it's not. Why? It's the intent behind it. Unless everyone on that production team went, this will bring us back the slaves, then it's not racist. Unless they intended it to be racist. And to be honest, to put someone in a jumper, it's common to call children monkeys anyway, because they climb about on furniture, all that other nonsense. So, why would you get so upset? It's, fuck's sake, just people complaining all the fucking time. If you're black, you want to be acknowledged as black. You're different. And then you're saying, okay, I'm different, but treat me the same. You've already fucked up. You've already fucked up. You're celebrating that you're different and you want to be treated the same. That's not... What? How? You want people to see you as black. They can't say certain words to you, so you're giving them rules on how to say stuff to you and treat you, and you expect to be treated the same. You've immediately fucked up because you're telling them what to do to behave to you. But this is all just random bullshit. My main point is, if we are to advance in society, we have to forget that slavery ever happened. And that is a bold fucking statement, so let me keep fucking talking. Okay? When you're in therapy, if as a child you were abused, as an adult, you still hold that in your system. And if you never let it go, your whole life you just live with that abuse. It's negative on the mind. It's negative on your behavior. It affects you, but you're holding on to it. So you go to a therapist. They tell you to accept it. Once you've accepted it, you can begin to move past it. That doesn't mean forget it. That's something big to forget. But in time, you'll forget it anyway. 60 years isn't long enough to forget about slavery. That's fair. We're still actually young. We're trying to move forward too quick. It might happen after hundreds of years. But the point is, we have to start forgetting it and move past it. You can't keep bringing it up every single time. Otherwise, it's you who's holding it back. You're letting it affect your life more than anything. Because you say, what about slavery? Don't forget about slavery. Cool. Now you're in a society where you're constantly reminded about it. And the problem is, we're not using it as a positive. And by that, I don't mean slavery is positive. I mean, we should be moving forward positively from that. We shouldn't be constantly going back to it. Oh, you called a black person a monkey. Remember slavery? What? You're bringing it all back. There should be a society where no word should be off limits. Cool, if you're saying the N-word, I don't like to say it, me personally, but if you're saying the N-word, that is explicitly and primarily for the derogation of black people. Cool. Monkey is an animal. And they used it to show that, you know, it's like we're not involved, whatever. But we have to get to a point where we can imagine that slavery never happened. Imagine. Because only then can you move forward and not hold on to the past. If you want to look to the future, let go of the past. Fuck. If slavery had never happened, then that wouldn't be racist. You could call anyone a monkey. It wouldn't matter. But yeah, it has happened. And they did call us that. But why are we holding on to it? Everyone fucking knows that no one intended that to be racist. And it would have been racist to be like, oh, we can't put a black person in because it might be racist. That's racist, because you're treating them differently in case something happens. That's racist. If black people want to be treated the same, we have to stop making up rules. Like, if I do something that is monkey-like, you can say he's like a monkey, because that's accurate. It's about the intent behind it. But I think that's my strongest point. If you want to be treated the same, then you have to stop making rules that end up us being treated differently. How can you honestly say that H&M is now racist because they put a black kid in a hoodie that said coolest monkey in the jungle, and then everyone's trying to defend the kid like he's done something cool? He was just there. The kid doesn't even know what's going on. He's like 4 years old. But overall, if you consider that racist, then you have an amazing fucking life. Because only something that small could irritate you to make you want to cause problems. Imagine people who are actually in Africa, people who are actually in the homeland, whatever you want to call it, how their lives are. They're starving. They can't get water, they can't drink, they can't do all this. Do you think they would complain if they saw that advert? Or do you think they would have bigger things to worry about? And then people are saying, oh, it must be racist because The Weeknd and P. Diddy got involved. Who the fuck cares? What? Since when did rappers' opinions become important? How is that news? That The Weeknd won't do business with H&M, so? Or P. Diddy gave the kid a contract, so? That kid is doing fine. That kid is probably doing alright. Give that, whatever contract money that you are giving that child, why don't you give it to the people in Africa that need it, that are starving? That's a real problem. A kid in a monkey top in an advert is the problem we have in this country. And there's problems way worse in other countries. And people pretend to get all fucking offended. Who cares if you're offended? Be offended. How has looking at that advert offended you? Or are you just getting offended because you know that's something that should offend you? That offends people? Because in this story, who's the victim? Some kid's getting paid to wear a top. The mum knows. She put him in the advert. A team know. They put him in the advert. So who's the victim? Who is being taken advantage of that this is so racist? And who is looking at that advert going, oh shit, it's happening again. They're trying to get us. What? How is that racist? So you have to decide. Are we moving forward? Or are we remembering? You have to fucking choose. You can't have both. You can't have both. Anyone who has ever gotten over a past trauma, a problem, you accept it, move on. You can't constantly remember that time in your past where something bad happened. It wasn't even your past. You weren't a slave. You have to decide. Do you want to move forward to a better society? Or do you want to keep looking back on how bad it used to be and reminiscing all the bullshit that happened and bringing it back forward, bringing it back up in today's society. Because that's what's going on right now. All this stuff about black power, remembering black people, is going too far to the point where we're not allowing it to be forgotten. And no, I don't mean forget the achievements. What people have done is amazing. What Rosa Parks did was amazing. What Martin Luther King did was amazing. What Malcolm X did was amazing. But you're constantly using the negative to drive you forward. So, tell me what sounds better to you. Looking back on slavery, comparing that to today and running away from it. So thinking all that bad shit used to happen, let's get away from that. Any bad shit, repress it. Any bad shit, get on it. Make sure it doesn't happen. Or forgetting it, accepting that it happened, and moving forward to something that's even better. Stop bringing up slavery. Fuck. Do you know why people complained? Because your life is too fucking good. I already said this before, but your life is too fucking good that the best thing that you can complain about on Twitter, on whatever, is the fact that a black kid is wearing a jumper that says monkey. If that's what your life is, congratulations, you're living a good fucking life, because there's a lot of people who have worse problems than that. There's a lot of people who have shit that actually there's a lot of people who have shit in their own life that's actually important and affecting them. There's people with cancer. There's people that are homeless. There's people that have no food. There's people with terminally ill diseases that have problems. But the worst thing in your life is that a black kid is wearing a jumper that says monkey. What? That's what you want to get behind. What is it? Because what is this advert marketing? For people, it's like, they're calling black people monkeys again. We have to stop it. But what's the intent behind it? The intent is that we're included in society. That should be good. They're calling black people's monkey again. That means we've forgotten the connotation. Don't bring it back. Don't bring it back. People suffered being called monkeys. People suffered. So you have to stop calling black people monkeys. People suffered being called monkeys, so they had to stop it. And now we're almost at a society where black people can be called monkeys and there's no connotation, but you decide that it needs to be brought back because you're offended somehow and you're trying to remember everything that's bad. Grow the fuck up, move the fuck on, because this is the kind of bullshit that isn't important. This is the kind of bullshit that you hold on to when you have nothing else that's important enough in your life to grab your attention. It upsets me. It really does. Because in no way am I saying that racism doesn't exist. People were racist to me at school. From the age of 12 to the age of 18, I dealt with racist jokes. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. Because it makes you feel like what you are is wrong. It's something you can't even change. There's people who have tried to change their skin color. People that use products to make themselves lighter because what they are feels wrong. It feels wrong to be black because it was judged. And now finally it's being accepted. But you're going back and bringing everything back. Remember when it was bad. Remember all the bad times. Make sure it doesn't happen again. No. We're now moving forward to good times. If the situation is appropriate, call a black person a monkey. If you see a little child who is black crawling over everything, you can say, what a cheeky little monkey. That isn't racist, that is progress. Because at that point, there is no longer the racist connotation. We've moved past it. The point where the colour isn't even important. You're making colour important. That's what's wrong with you. You're so proud to be black that you need to be different. Because the people that are proud to be black, they want racism to exist. Which is why they hold on to those negative things. Because if black is just accepted and you don't even notice it, Black people, white people, everything, Asian, whatever. Imagine if that colour's not even seen anymore. Imagine if that colour isn't even seen. Then what do you have to be proud of? I made another video of who you are. You shouldn't be proud of being black. It's just what you are. You've done nothing to accomplish it. And like I said in the other video, by no means should you reject it. If you're black, you're black. You don't have to be proud, but be happy. Be content, accept it. Cool, I'm black. Same with being white. If you're white, like, I'm white, cool. Accept it. But you can't be proud. You can't be proud, it's not an achievement. So tell me, in this society where we have started calling black people monkeys again, is it a good thing? Because the intent behind it wasn't racist. They're trying to include us in society again. You want to be included? You all have the same rules. You can't claim to be different, otherwise you're going to be treated different. It's that simple. You can't keep shoving how different you are in people's faces, otherwise that's what they're going to notice. You want people to accept stuff, they shouldn't even notice it. So, black people, tell me, do you want to be accepted? You can still be different. That doesn't mean no one's telling you you're not black. It just means stop fucking showing off about it. It's not an accomplishment. There can't be constant monitoring of what people are saying. There's still racism. People are still offensive. Things can be said that are offensive. Even by accident, the intent. But this, you can call a child a monkey. The black kid is a child. If we're really in a society that accepts everyone, it wouldn't matter who you called a monkey. It wouldn't matter. So what do you want? This PC society? Because everything will offend someone. If you say, I believe in God, or I don't believe in God, you've offended someone. For those of you with an ounce of intelligence, what do you want? Do you want a society moving forward, or do you want to keep looking back? Because a black kid being called a monkey, he wasn't even called a monkey. The fucking top just said monkey. Like, there's tops that say fucking superstar, and there's tops that say Rasta, and you can have a top made that says drug dealer. It's a fucking top. Jesus. But anyway, you have to decide. Are you gonna keep looking back? Are you gonna keep clamping down on every single thing that people do wrong and chastising them for it? It's causing a lot of tension in society because people don't know what they can say. So you're adding to the problem. If you keep looking back and going, remember slavery, not only are now you remembering it, everyone's remembering it because it's a huge fucking spectacle. So you can choose to remember it, keep bringing it up. Black people were oppressed, all this, on the most bullshit thing like a kid wearing a jumper. Or you can look forward. Look for ways of advancing society instead of oppressing it. Because for me, that's a step forward. The day you can call a black person a monkey and no one thinks of slavery, you've been accepted. Black people have been accepted into a white society. Now, might be insensitive. Of course, some people would get offended. And there's still racism today. So if you're experiencing racism today, then it adds on. Because like, oh my God, now I have to see it in the media. But it's a step forward. It really is. You can remember the bad times, or you can look forward to the good ones. Because as soon as we stop making rules, outcrying, crying out for every single thing that happens, that's when we can move forward. We're so wrapped up in being different that we're causing groups, we're causing divides. And it's exactly the same for men and women, which is the dumbest thing. But it's black and white. Black people complaining that they're being called a monkey. It's insensitive. Depending on if someone's using it to offend you, then yes, it's racist. But in that situation, it's insensitive. Same with men and women. It's gonna be super offensive, but if you can ever call a woman a bitch and it not be offensive, then we've moved forward. Because if two black people call each other monkeys, is that racist? Might be a bit dumb. Sure. If two white people call each other monkeys, obviously not racist. If two women call each other bitches, is that sexist? If two men call each other bitches, is that sexist? If a man calls a woman a bitch, same question. So like I said, to move forward in society, you have to accept the day, because these words aren't meant to offend. They weren't created for that reason. They were just used for that reason. Because these words, bitch, monkey, they weren't made to offend. They were used to offend. So, as soon as we get to a point in society where we don't even think of the offensiveness, it means it's not in our heads anymore and we've moved past it. And that's fucking moving forward. I'm out.